Hey guys, welcome back to round 11 of Inside the Clinch. My name is Eric, and as always, I'm joined by my longtime friend Johnny. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a pretty regular day. Been in school, been grinding. How about you?
I'm good. Just been working as well. We had a phenomenal card to start off 2021. Really excited. I mean, it was the first event on ABC. Did really well. I mean, start off the year great. We'll get to it in a couple of minutes, but I mean, Max Holloway just set the year off, setting records after records. So, hey, it's a good way to start the year, man.
Dude, Max Holloway is literally on another level, man. Like after that performance on Saturday, I was just freaking like I was so like out of words. I didn't know like Max Holloway. Like we all know who Max Holloway is. We saw his fights with Brian Ortega, where I've said this a bunch of times, but he made him look like a freaking punching bag. His fight with Dustin Poirier, which he lost, but the volume of strikes in that fight. And with this fight, let me just read off the records that he broke in this fight. So Max Blessed Express broke several records in this fight. So he landed 447 total strikes. That's the most ever landed in a single UFC fight. 445 significant strikes landed. 746 total strikes attempted. That's the most ever in UFC history. And 141 strikes landed in round four. That's the most ever in a single round. So Max Holloway put on a freaking clinic and against a, a tough competitor in Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the fight was going to be much closer. I was rooting for Holloway, obviously, as I mentioned the last couple episodes, but I expected Calvin Cater to be a little bit closer there in competition. I mean, just Holloway, man, he's just too good. He's too good for the division. I mean, I know the UFC's kind of doesn't really want to put him right back into the title conversation since he just had two back-to-back fights, but I mean, how can you deny the man?
No, you got to give him the title contention. I know you don't like when I say this, but I'm in freaking awe over Max Holloway, dude. Like that fight was literally insane. Like we've seen Max Holloway put on the pace. We see Max Holloway with the volume strikes. We've seen him with the damage, with the Jose Aldo fights, with the Dustin Poirier fight, which he didn't win, but it was a competitive fight. With all his fights, we see who Max Holloway is. But this was just like I was watching this and I was completely in shock the way that Max Holloway was able to take out Calvin Kattar, a person that Zabid Magomed a person that we highly regard, had a difficult time with. So after
Yeah.
that fight, I like started to think, how would Max Holloway be with Zabit? It's like I
I don't
would.
know. I'm less inclined. I'm a huge Zabit fan, but I was saying for a while that Zabit would be a great matchup for Holloway. But again, like you said, after watching this matchup, I mean, can Zabit compete with Holloway? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's honestly insane. But let me ask you this. So the fight went on, and a lot of people are talking about, how Max Holloway was able to basically dominate. He won 50-42 on one judge scorecard, right? And then
Yep.
50-43 on two judges scorecards.
Yep.
And the 50-42 was the first time that a person was able to do that in a title fight in a very long time. So let me ask you this. Do you think that who was at fault? Do you think anyone is at fault with them not stopping the fight? Like Herb Dean didn't stop
No.
the fight.
No. I don't think there was a
Calvin
stoppage.
Cater's corner didn't stop the fight. There's a lot of like this ESPN, MMA Junkie, all these other platforms are just, this is the topic of a conversation. Like the fighters getting hurt. Should they have stopped the fight? So I'm asking you, what do you think? Do you
I
think,
think all this they just need some controversy on their pages. I mean, if you look, the fight could have been stopped, but Calvin Cater, he was in the fight. He didn't go out. Whenever the ref told him to respond, he responded. He covered up. He didn't have the best performance, but he was in the fight. I don't think there was a reason to stop the fight. The ref only stops the fight or should only stop the fight if you're knocked out, if you're tapping, if you're unconscious, or if you can't defend yourself. And Calvin Cater was, he was doing all those. He was defending himself. He was moving. Again, eating a bunch of shots he probably could have avoided or not have to take. But I don't think I mean, maybe his corner could have thrown in the
The
towel.
corner. I feel like if
But again,
anyone is to
I feel
blame,
like we've seen worse. Like the Ortega fight, for example, that fight needed a towel thrown in like ASAP, and that was an unnecessary beating for Ortega. And like as we found out afterwards, or both of Ortega's hands were broken, so he couldn't even hit Holloway with anything. This was a little bit different. Calvin Kattar was swinging until the end. I mean, maybe he was hoping for that one punch knockout, which I mean he was very well capable of, but I don't I don't think anything should have been stopped. I'm not disappointed with the referee or the corner at all.
yeah. So every single time that Herb Dean basically told Calvin Kattar to continue fighting, he did exactly what Herb Dean told him to do. And with in terms of his corner, I mean, like they're looking for that one punch to knock out Max Holloway. But then also you could like argue against that Max Holloway has never been knocked out before. He's never been even knocked down in his professional career. So I don't know if anyone is to blame. I feel like if I was in somebody's corner, I don't know. Like it's a very hard decision to make. But I don't know. I'm with you, and I don't think either of them are to blame.
Yeah, I mean, the Blessed Express is back, all aboard.
The Blessed Express is back. So what's next for Calvin Kattar since the Blessed Express is back and we want him to get the. So this is what I want for the Blessed Express. I want him to either get the title next, the title fight between the winner of Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovski, or me just being a selfish MMA fan. I want the fight with Zabit, and I want to see exactly I want to see who would win in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the Zabit fight would make great sense. I mean, he was the last person to beat Kattar before Holloway. Stylistically, it would make sense. Like I said, I don't know how competitive that fight is going to be now. I thought it was going to be a lot more competitive last weekend, but after watching Max do his thing, I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. And one
Yeah,
thing,
but Zabit is different though. Like Zabit, I know that after watching this, we have the recency bias and we think
right.
Max Holloway is this like insane athlete, which he is. But I feel like Zabit is also up there, and I feel like that'd be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would love to see it, but like I said, I don't know how competitive it's going to be now. I forgot who said it. It may have been DC or another MMA fighter, but someone mentioned like we still haven't seen Max Holloway's peak, and his peak is yet to come. And to be honest, I agree with that 100%. I don't think he's at it in his athletic prime yet. He may have lost the belt, but I mean, if you look at his performances and how he's fighting and how he's evolving as a fighter, I mean, he's just growing and growing. Like his speed is there. I mean, his power he can work on, but like his technique is there, the volume, the pace, it's just all improving. I mean, the guy goes at you for 5 rounds straight and can probably go another 5. You know what I mean? Like he's just a phenomenal athlete.
It's literally so unexpected. Just like looking at Max, like listening to his interviews, like this, he's always on Call of Duty playing video games, always like mad chill, mad cool. And then like just to see him and like the way like his fight IQ, his fight pedigree, like it's fucking insane to like watch Max Holloway fight. So I'm very excited for him, and I think that he's going to be at the end of 2021. I think he's going to be the champion.
Zabit.
No, Max
Holloway. Sorry, Holloway. Yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah.
there's only one man that's staying in his way. I mean, it's Volkanovski and Max at that level. I mean, there's no one else next to them right now, unless Ortega somehow filled that gap that we saw during the Holloway fight. I mean, it's just them two at the top, no one else.
Yeah, and Ortega basically after that fight tweeted out saying that Max Holloway is not going to be able to land that many strikes like against him, which has some credit in the two fights that he fought Alexander Volkanovski. He wasn't even able to land nearly as many strikes as he landed in the fight with Kattar, but
Yep.
it was still. I mean, like just watching this fight, it's hard. It's hard to bet against Max.
So let me ask you one thing on Max then. Do you think 10K Holloway is gonna get achieved?
10K Holloway.
So during an interview last week, one of the ladies asked him pretty much. They brought up his records and how his volume is just so high, and he's over 2,000 strikes right now in his career. And I think he said it jokingly, but he said he wants his goal to be 10K to see if he can hit 10,000 strikes.
Do you know what the current record
It's
is?
a little over 2,000.
Oh, and he's already at 2,000.
Oh, it's a little. Oh, the record? No, sorry, the record. I think he has the record. Does he not? Yeah, I think he would have the record.
Wait, for what? For total strikes?
Landed, yeah.
Oh, for total strikes landed. Oh, okay. So he wants 10,000.
Yep.
He wants
10K Holloway.
10,000. I mean, dude, if anyone
It
could do
is
it,
what it is, man.
it is what it is. If anyone could do it, it's definitely him. Honestly, like I'm not gonna ever bet against. I mean, I didn't bet against him, but I thought he was gonna win, which he did. But you can't bet against Max Holloway. The dude is fucking insane,
Fucking
bro.
blessed, man.
He's blessed express, man. But yeah, let's jump into Calvin Kattar for before we get into the card that everyone wants to care about, that Conor McGregor versus Dustin
Poirier.
Poirier. Yeah, so Calvin Kattar, what's next for him? What do you think his next opponent should be?
I don't know. I think he needs well, first of all, he's gonna have a few months at least to recover. I mean, he took quite a beating. His nose looked broken. I'm sure he's gonna have at least a 3-month just health suspension, to make before he gets cleared to fight again. But I don't know. I mean, if I kind of want this Zabit fight again, if Zabit doesn't get Holloway. I know it's a fight Calvin Kattar lost, but it was a very controversial one. He was losing the first 2 rounds, but he did pick up the pace in the third, and a lot of people thought, had there been even one more round, that Calvin Kattar probably would have won. That fight would interest me. I think the loser of I guess that would the loser of Ortega and Volkanovski. Maybe Calvin Kattar gets a shot at one of them.
That's actually a good pick.
Because look, Calvin Kattar, he's still one of the top dogs in the division. You know what I mean? You can't just put him with one of the bottom ranking guys, but you can't exactly put him in, I guess, with the top 3.
I understand, but it's so hard to say that Calvin Kattar is a top dog in the division after that fight. Like,
I mean, look,
if the
anyone
top
in there with Holloway,
if the real top dog, if the real nobody looked like that, bro. Come on, like
Ortega,
I understand
Ortega was a class athlete, and he looked worse, I think.
I mean, Max Holloway was able to land more strikes against Kattar, but yeah, that was a pretty bad beatdown as well. But listen, this is what my pick for Calvin Kattar is. What about Chang Sung Jung?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. That's Korean Zombie, right? Yeah.
Korean Zombie coming off a loss to Brian Ortega. He's ranked number 5 right now. I don't
know if that fight makes sense for. I mean, look, if Kattar wants a showcase fight, I feel like that makes sense. But I mean, what is he really going to gain in that Korean Zombie fight? You know what I mean? Korean Zombie's kind of on the tail end of his career.
Korean Zombie's ranked number 5, bro. I think Korean Zombie's actually ranked ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken. Really? He is.
Oh, if he is, then that fight definitely makes sense. I think they should definitely
both coming off of losses. But I like what you said though as well. The loser of
Ortega and Volkanovski.
Yeah. Exciting fights. But before we get into the next topic, UFC 257, let me just read you this tweet from Calvin Kattar after the fight. His feelings, what he's going through after the fight. All right, so what he says is, success in life comes when you simply refuse to give up. With goals so strong that obstacles, failure, and loss only act as motivations. Props to Max on a hell of a fight. He deserves all the praise. Thankful for my team commitment thankful for my team's commitment for this fight. On to the next. There is no stopping the man who doesn't quit. So
hey man, he's in great spirits.
He made peace with it. It's good to see, because I feel like it's very hard to make peace with something like that that's getting honestly destroyed.
Look, man, the guy had a smile on his face even in the 5th round getting his ass beat. You know what I mean? Like, the guy had heart. I mean, he didn't want to give up. I mean, he's like one of those guys you got to kill him to get him out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Post fight, when they were giving him credit for having so much heart, for having so much passion for the sport, what he said was, "I don't want to be known for having heart. He wants to be known for winning," which I don't blame him for. But he definitely needs to. He definitely needs to do something in his next few performances.
Yeah, I definitely think he needs some kind of a comeback. The Korean Zombie fight, actually, I didn't realize Korean Zombie was ranked ahead of them. I think that actually makes even more sense than the loser of the title fight. And I think the winner of, if they were to book Korean Zombie and Kattar, I think the winner of that fight should fight the loser of the title fight. I think that would make more sense. Holloway would go on to fight the winner, and one of them fight the loser.
Yeah, I mean, like, that division is freaking, honestly, it's stacked for the first time in a long time. So we'll see what happens. But let's get on to UFC 257, the fights that most MMA fans care about. Conor McGregor is back after a year layoff. But before we get into Conor McGregor, let's go over the main co-main event of the evening with Michael Chandler making his UFC debut against Dan Hooker. Let me hear your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah, so I've said it before. I mean, this is a fight I'm really, really looking forward to. And I think that the excitement of this fight will probably be very close, if not better, than Hooker versus Poirier, which was, one of the fights of the years last year. Um, I think that Hooker he has a good use of pace and good use of distance. His striking is great. Chandler is also, he's a different style striker. He's a more explosive striker. He has that knockout power. I think he's a little bit smaller than Hooker. So I think for him, if he can get explosive and kind of land that takedown against the cage and impose some ground and pound, I think that's where Chandler will be strongest. But Hooker needs to try to keep it in the center and, just not walk into any big shots. I mean, Chandler has that power where he could knock you out with just one punch. So it's something for Hooker to look out for.
So who would you say is your final decision on?
I kind of want to say Chandler, but lately, honestly, Dan Hooker's just been impressing me fight after fight. So he's making it hard to bet against him.
So Eric's picks of the week is Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Michael Chandler. Who do you got?
I want to say Michael Chandler as well. Dan Hooker, I feel like he's a phenomenal fighter. He's coming off the loss to Dustin Poirier. He's fighting Michael Chandler, the three-time lightweight Bellator champion. This Bellator winner in one of their seasons. I'm not sure exactly which one, but a former All-American in Michael Chandler. Two great athletes, two incredible mixed martial artists. I feel like exactly what you said. I feel like if Michael Chandler is able to land a takedown, which is not that probable, his takedown accuracy is only 40%. I know he's an All-American or whatever, and people regard him as a high level wrestler, but his takedown accuracy is not really anything impressive. Just looking at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if he could do that, if he could land the takedown, I feel like it could be a great night for him.
Yeah, I think, like I said, if he can find a way to kind of get Dan on the ground, and not just on the ground, but like I feel more so along the fence, and kind of control Hooker more, I feel like that's going to be a strong suit. I feel like that's where he can get the job done easiest.
Yeah, but I feel like it's very, very easy to underestimate Dan Hooker. I feel like Dan Hooker has that knockout power. He has either that knockout power or he has that power to stun you and then take you out with his range of punches.
Yeah, I mean, he's also another one that uses his volume pretty well, not to the same degree as Max Holloway or Colby Covington, but he still uses his pace. Like we saw that in the Poirier fight. He's another one that does not give up. His cardio's there. It's all the way through the fifth, and he'll keep coming at you. So you either better put him out or be ready for a war.
I agree. So who would you say the winner of this fight? Who do they get? So we have Conor McGregor fighting Dustin Poirier in the main event. That's the same division. So who do you think the winner of this fight should get?
All right, is Oliveira Gaethje official, or are they still talking about that?
Oh no, that's not official.
That's not official. Okay, so ideally, what I would like is Poirier Conor winner fights Oliveira for the belt, assuming Khabib is out. Then
Poirier Conor fights winner of what?
The winner of that fight fights Oliveira for the belt.
Oliveira.
And then
okay.
I think
that's if Khabib doesn't come back.
Yeah. And then the winner between Hooker and Chandler, I think, should fight either Justin Gaethje or the loser of Conor and Poirier.
I agree with that 100%.
I mean, those are the top dogs. I feel like any way you mix and match them, you won't get a disappointment. The skills are there. The hype is there. I mean, you can mix and match them any way you want, but I think that way makes the most sense.
Listen, since Michael Chandler made his transition into the UFC, I kind of became a fan of his. Like, he's very well spoken. He's a very nice guy. He has nothing really no ill words to say about anyone. He's freaking jacked. He looks like an incredible athlete. So I'm rooting for Michael Chandler in this one. So, but we'll see. This is an exciting fight, and I feel like it's a great way to welcome in the notorious one, Conor McGregor, back. Yeah, but before we get into Conor McGregor, there's some recent news with Conor McGregor. He's been accused of rape acquisitions. In Ireland in 2018, a woman that apparently says that Conor McGregor raped her, and this woman, to keep in mind, she's also accusing another man of raping someone else. So, what do you? Let me hear your thoughts on this.
So yeah, I remember hearing about this back in 2018. I guess for those that didn't hear, this woman did come out in 2018 to say she was suing Conor. I don't know if it was rape. I know there was some kind of physical, uh, I don't know, pushing, shoving, whatever. Something happened. I don't know if I remember it being rape. But a lot of Conor's career is starting to look a lot like Tyson's career looked. I mean, you kind of see people trying to sue him for allegedly doing this, that, or the other to try to either get some money or get some fame out of it. From what I did read then, and I did read up on it now, it didn't look like there was proof of anything actually happening. Uh, Ireland authorities, investigated apparently, and I mean, I don't know how much those officers, I guess, were influenced by Conor and who he is, but they didn't see anything wrong with it. And I think what made this case a little bit more suspicious to me is not only is this woman suing him, but her mother is suing him as well. And it's detailed as to why the woman is suing Conor, but when it got to why the mother is kind of suing him as well, there wasn't really much detail or light there. So I think that looked a little bit funky to me.
Yeah, it's a case undergoing an investigation. So this is what Conor McGregor's spokesperson had to say. She said that they categorically reject this claim against Conor McGregor, and they also say that justice will prevail. The thing about this, all this is like, isn't it a little fishy that all this is happening right before Conor's return in a year? Conor McGregor was last in the UFC about a year ago against Donald Cerrone, and he's back right now, and like, perfect timing.
Allegations came out in 2018 when right around the time he was fighting Khabib. If I'm not mistaken, I think something else came out to a lesser effect around the Donald Cerrone fight. So it's like as soon as Conor's back in the limelight, someone wants either, like I said, either part of the money, maybe some of the fame, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Do you think this is gonna, because I feel like the question here right now is, do you think that this is gonna affect Conor McGregor's performance?
No, the double champ does whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't give a shit.
I understand the double champ does what the fuck he wants. That's 100% fact that he does do what the fuck he wants. But, like a regular person, he's still a human being at the end of the day. Someone is claiming that you raped them. I feel like that's going to like bother you in some way or shape or form. You know what I'm saying?
On fight night, I mean, I don't know how much of that is going to be in his head. But longer term, I mean, look, it could bother him on a personal level, whether he did it and he feels guilty about it, or he doesn't do it and it's something he feels tarnished his whole legacy. I mean, I'm sure longer term he will feel it to a degree.
So you're saying that this accusation is not going to do anything towards the fight?
On fight night, I don't think it'll have anything, unless something happens like literally in the locker room. So Conor gets some news about something happening. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near Conor's mind. He has a bunch of lawyers that are dealing with that crap, so he's as far away from it as probably he could be. It's not like you or I, God forbid, had a lawsuit like that. We'd probably be a lot more involved. He just has a bunch of lawyers on retainer that probably just show up and do his bidding for him.
Yeah, very well said, honestly. Did you see how Conor pulled up in the yacht to Fight Island?
Dude, he's a G. The one thing I don't get though, everyone around him is in a hazmat suit, and he's just walking around shirtless, like like nothing affects him. Like I love Conor, man. He does
give a fuck about it. But there was a picture of him in a mask, though. There's a picture going viral. There's actually a picture of Conor McGregor in a mask, and then the caption is, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Conor's back this Saturday, man. I mean, I can't wait. I don't know. I was hoping Conor wins against Poirier. I should say I was thinking Conor is going to win against Poirier, just the stylistic matchup and who they are. But the more time has been coming by, I feel like I'm starting to root for Poirier a little bit more. I don't know, Conor's demeanor is a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like you said last time. I mean, guy's not active. We don't know where he is as far as his MMA career, athletically. We know he could still compete.
Yeah. Fun fact before we continue. So in the last 4 years, guess how many fights Conor McGregor had in the UFC?
Two. Yeah.
Khabib and Cerrone. Yeah. So 2 fights in the last 4 years. So ring rust, I don't know.
How many has Poirier had? Over 5, I want to say, right?
Poirier has a lot of fights. Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up.
Sorry,
Um,
5. I want to say like 8 at least.
yeah. So since their last meeting since his last meeting with Conor McGregor, Poirier had 13 fights. He won 10 of them, lost 2, and there was one no contest. I believe that was with Eddie Alvarez when Eddie Alvarez landed the illegal what was that, knees? I believe when
Yeah,
he was.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so Conor McGregor had 8 fights. He won 6 of them, lost 2. One of them being to Nate Diaz, and the other one being to Khabib Nurmagomedov, where he tapped out.
That machine.
So let me hear. What do you think is going to happen in the fight? Just in the fight, what do you think is going to go on?
So I think this fight could go one of two ways. I think either Connor gets a quick knockout in the first round. I don't know if necessarily within 60 seconds like he predicted, but I mean, he's definitely capable of it. And whether or not he gets that done, I think is going to depend more on Poirier than on Connor. I think it's going to depend on if Poirier is going to come in with a clean head or if he's going to fight angry. If he's going to fight to try to redeem for what happened last time, I feel like that's going to be a horrible way for him to engage Connor. If Connor doesn't get that knockout in the first or second round, I think if it goes into round 3 or later, I think Poirier is going to be able to gas him out, take him into the deep waters, and pretty much do what he wants with him. And if Poirier is able to last into the 4th and 5th round, I think he's actually going to make Connor look pretty bad just because of where his cardio is compared to Connor's. And I mean, just the level of athleticism.
Yeah, so I feel like there's one thing that we could both agree on. I mean, before we start recording this, I watched the fight again with Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor was able to take out Dustin Poirier within the first round, within the first 2 minutes. I feel like you and I could both agree that it's not going to happen. It's a different Dustin Poirier that Conor McGregor is fighting this time. It's the first time they were fighting Dustin Poirier. I feel like got like the nerves caught up to him. I don't exactly know what happened, but
Look,
Conor
Dustin was
McGregor.
younger then. He definitely wasn't the fighter he is now. I mean, Connor then and Connor now, you can kind of say, I mean, has evolved a little bit, but Dustin then and Dustin now is like 2 completely different people. I mean, just everything about Dustin is different. The way he fights, his game plan, where his head is at, just everything about him is different. Um,
Yeah, listen, after that fight, I feel like Dustin Poirier lost to TKO or KO. I feel like either one time or after that. One of them being to Michael Johnson. I'm not sure if there was anything besides that. I know that he lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov, but that was to submission. But I feel like the only way that Conor McGregor could beat him is either via decision, if he outclasses him, if he outstrikes him,
Connor beats
or
Dustin with a decision.
yeah.
Connor beats
No,
Dustin.
I'm saying the ways in which he could win. He
Okay.
could win. He could win via decision, or he could win via TKO or knockout. He's not going to win via submission.
Agreed.
So I feel like this time that Conor McGregor is fighting Dustin Poirier, it's a different fighter. It's not the same fighter that he fought in 2014, where he was able to. That right hand, I feel like, is not going to be able to knock out Dustin Poirier now. I feel like that before was. I feel like it was nerves that.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the first Dustin fight like 20 times, maybe. I can't really tell what brought Dustin down. That punch that Connor landed didn't really seem to. It looked like it went on the side, but like it like scuffed the top of his head. It didn't look like it actually connected, which was kind of why that fight surprised me more. Which was kind of like, why did Dustin just drop like that?
It was weird because Conor McGregor starts talking to Dustin Poirier in the fight, and he like starts taunting him, starts talking to him, and right as he starts talking to him, he lands the right hand. So I feel like it has to be nerves. But aside from that, Dustin Poirier has been in big fights. He just fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, huge fight. So I feel like that's going to be less of an issue this fight, and I feel like we're going to see the real Dustin Poirier this time.
Shine bright like a diamond, man. It's his time. Let's see how he performs under pressure.
Yeah, but regardless, it's going to be a phenomenal next few days. I know we're not touching on the fight between Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny tomorrow, because by the time we release this, it's going to be after the fight. So I personally, I'm going to pick Michael Chiesa. I think he's going to be able to get the submission. What's your pick on that fight?
That's one I'm hung up on. I really can't pick one. But if you put my gun,
It's hard to
my
pick one. I
head,
know.
yeah. I mean, I think I would lean towards Chiesa, but I mean, Neil Mag, they're both great athletes, and I it's hard for me to pick. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Chiesa, but I mean,
They're both dark horses in the division. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, regardless, we have a few. We have next few days are gonna be pretty exciting. We have UFC tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up 9 a.m. Prior to my classes. Start watching that as soon as I wake up. It's gonna be an exciting day, and then we have Conor McGregor's return on Saturday, so it's gonna be an exciting next few days.
Yeah. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe on all the platforms. On Instagram, we're Inside the Clinch MMA. On Twitter, we're ITC MMA Podcast. And on Facebook and YouTube, we're Inside the Clinch MMA Podcast. As always, means a lot, helps us out. And we have some very exciting news coming up within the next week or two in regards to our podcast. So definitely stay in tune and stay in touch. We will definitely be releasing some big news soon.
Yeah, and don't forget to share this podcast with all your friends that are into MMA. We're going to be growing. It's going to be an exciting year for us. So thank you guys for the support, and we'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time, guys. Thank you for tuning in.